Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show tonight. Tonight's guest, we have Rick Perez, uh, Petey Perez's father. Petey was murdered 3 years ago on the 14th of this month. It'll be 3 years he was murdered by the Richmond Police Department. And we want to bring Rick back onto the show. This is the second time on the show. And we want to bring him back onto the show because we don't want this to just go away. We want to talk about it. We want people to understand that when you lose a loved one, when you lose a son, it doesn't just go away. They want it to go away. They want to put it up on the carpet, but we can't let it go away. So we want to bring on Rick Perez and allow him to come on and be part of the show today. Welcome to the show, Rick.
Thank you for having me. Glad to be here. More glad to educate the public out there that these way these police handle these things. And I was saying earlier, I heard an interesting statement today about justice takes a serious pursuit of the truth, and when you try to get the truth out of the police, when they're the ones who made the mistake or committed the crime, however we want to call this,
Right.
you ain't getting the truth.
You're not getting the truth. Definitely not.
They hide behind the police officers' Bill of Rights.
Right.
Before that, they were hiding behind litigation, and they just keep on coming up with excuses. Just last night, I was at a Citizens Police Review Commission meeting in the city of Richmond, and City Council had them do an independent investigation by someone other than the police department, other than a law enforcement person.
Okay.
And now they're in the process of withholding that information from us that was brought up by the investigation, only allowing us to know whether the complaint was substantiated or declined or anything in between.
Okay. Now you saying that they had another investigation other than by the police department?
Yes.
It's independent.
It's done by the Police Review Commission, or now referred to as the Citizens Police Review Commission.
Okay.
Which we had them. Nobody knew that they even existed. The police commission sounded to police, so they now have added the word citizen to it in the beginning, so the citizens know that's what it's there for. We also got them to change the policy of they investigate any shooting or bodily harm that results in 72 hours or more of a hospital stay automatically.
Okay.
So in our case, we were supposed to submit a complaint within 45 days, and we had no idea they even existed.
Right.
A couple of the commissioners wanted to reach out to us to let us know they existed, but the city lawyer told them, you cannot solicit business. You
Really?
cannot go after them like that. And again, most of the roadblocks we're running into is the city attorney and the mayor. Thank God we have the city council that votes in our favor. Most of them do. And the mayor is just, I understand he's trying to preserve the city's image.
Wow.
But in my opinion, the city's image would be preserved if they admitted a wrongdoing, a mistake.
Right.
Nothing's going to bring my son back,
No.
but lying about it isn't going to make the city look any better.
No, it's not. No, it's not. What they should. You have an independent process that's going on, okay, and they have information that they're still withholding from you. They're not
Yes.
giving information.
Yes.
Now you have a mayor of the city, and you have the chief of police. They're still not allowing stuff to be presented to you.
Yeah.
Because they want the city of Richmond to be a good city of Richmond. They don't want to damage the police department. They don't want to say the police department. They want to be transparent, they say.
The truth to them is that the officer feared for his life, and yet they don't back it up with any of the evidence that they have to prove that.
Right.
And they don't want us to see the evidence that they have to prove the demonization they did of my son.
Right.
And so, doesn't that sound a little fishy?
It does.
If they if the truth was on their side, I think they'd be the first ones that want to get the information out, like most anyone does.
Sure.
And but they're hiding. They're I don't know why. I mean, I know why, but it doesn't make any sense that they're calling it what they are. Like the litigation, like I said, is settled. We did that so they wouldn't throw that over our head, so the information would get out.
Mm-hmm.
And what's another thing? It was their little bubbles getting popped a little bit because I've had several officers come up to me and tell me about the history of Wallace Jensen, the officer that shot my son.
Oh, really?
And they told me how he was recommended from the get-go for non-hire because that they were just recommended for non-hire. He got hired because of nepotism. He had a brother-in-law, I believe, on the force that was high up, so he got on.
Okay.
He was sent back to the academy 3 times.
Really? Whoa.
And when we confronted the lawyers about that, the Police Officers Association lawyers about that, they said, "Oh, he forgot his notebook. That's why they sent him back."
A notebook?
Yeah. Does that make any sense?
He forgot his notebook, so we're going to send him back to the academy.
To the academy.
Come on.
I mean, come on. Can't they? Yeah.
Yeah,
can't
they can
do
get better
better
than
than
that.
that? So there's lots of stories about that officer. And I guess the silver lining to this cloud here is he is no longer a police officer in the city of Richmond, or nor can he be anywhere else, because he took, or the police department forced him out of it with a post-traumatic stress disorder from shooting my son. He now gets $70,700 a year for his mental illness. And again, the only silver lining I see there, he's not an officer no more, so he's not going to shoot anyone else's kid,
Right.
at least not legally.
Well, he was given that because they didn't want to straight out fire him.
Right.
They wanted to make it look bad for the Richmond Police Department.
Right.
They didn't want to say, we fired him because of what?
Improper procedures.
Exactly. So they said, we're going to give you retirement and you go out on PTS.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what they did.
Yeah.
So that was something else that was swept up under the carpet. Society, the community is still not knowing what happened. You see, so they're turning a blind eye again.
Mm-hmm. And another thing we have problems with, and it might even be people that watch shows like this maybe, is it's usually the older folks that are involved in city proceedings or even juries.
Right.
And they adore the police. They don't.
Isn't that something?
Yeah, and I have no problem with that part of it. Actually, I look at my job as trying to help them shine their badge back up, because right now they got blood all over it.
Yeah.
And again, nothing will bring my son back,
Right.
but telling the truth would seriously help their image.
Sure it will. We want to allow the guests that's watching in the homes to call in and take part in our conversation here with Rick Perez tonight. The phone number is 415-861-6648. Call in and become part of this conversation. This is a very interesting conversation that needs to be talked about. People need to know what's going on in Richmond, California. We have a young man on the 14th of this month. He was murdered in Richmond, California. The phone number is 415-861-6648. Call in and take part of this conversation. So we have an officer that's getting free money. You know, they didn't fire him. because that would have made Richmond Police Department bad. So they said, well, we're gonna give them a rest. We're gonna give them send them out to pasture more or less with good pay.
Yeah.
Get his fishing pole, go fishing, and enjoy the rest of his life. Your son is not here.
Yep.
You know,
And now I get to live with watch my wife cry every night.
Yes.
And
yes.
plus my own sorrow. I work for myself, and my son worked with me, family business, and just going to work reminds me every day of being with him, and it really hurts. And
yeah, I can imagine that. I really can imagine that. Yeah.
And then I go to these. We went to a police dialogue thing between the citizens and the police, the barbershop forum, and they apologized to me for this, or they expressed their sorrows and their condolences. Yet they want us to put it behind us and forget about it.
Oh.
Like there's nothing they can do about that now. Well, yeah. So let's go on to
Something else.
to shooting Michael Bennett, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Today or yesterday in the news.
Yeah, is that something?
So
come on.
you
So Rick, they want you to stop talking about it. They want you to forget about it.
Yep.
And move on to something else.
Yep.
Come on, how can that be? That's ridiculous.
I'm never going to forget my son, and I'm never going to let them forget it.
No.
And they just want to wear me out and make me go away.
Yeah.
And I can see how that could happen real easy, but like I said, I work for myself, and the job ain't done until I finish
There you
it.
go.
So
There you go. There you go.
And I got a big job in front of me now, and
Right, keep the gloves on.
getting
Don't
these
take 'em off.
police to just to acknowledge that they made a mistake.
Right. And this is something that 3 years now they haven't done it.
Right.
On the 14th of this month, it'll be 3 years that they haven't done it. They haven't admitted they're wrong.
And I'm right back to that question: is what do they have to hide? If the truth is what the way they say it, then they should present the evidence.
Right. Yeah.
We have evidence to the contrary of what Wallace Jensen said, and they don't acknowledge it. It's unimportant. Yeah. It's only the word of the officer is the only thing that's admissible in the district attorney's opinion. Incidentally, the district attorney got himself in some trouble for embezzling $66,000 out of his campaign fund. So now he's out with a felony. He's no longer the district attorney.
Is this the same district attorney that was on there?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, on the news he was, and he was on Mark Peterson.
Really? Is that right?
Yes. And he is now he has a felony. He had 13 counts of felony counts against him, but he plea bargained to one, and he paid back the money plus a fine. But anyway,
really?
his attitude towards me when I tried to get him to, I talked to him eye to eye, face to face. I made it a point to confront him at the new police chief's swearing ceremony, and he tried to act like he didn't know my case was, because he does so many of them. And then I must have asked the right questions, because I had him trying to defend himself. Yeah. So then all of a sudden he remembered.
Oh, and
really? And then he told me to present any evidence I had. And so they also wrote us a letter and expected us to reply like immediately. 15 days later, we didn't get the reply to him. It was sitting there, but we just didn't finalize it. And too late. See ya. Too bad.
Is that right? Wow.
So
wow.
They would have did that if I would have gave them to him in 7 days. You know.
These are the kind of people that run the city of Richmond. People that embezzle money.
Yes.
They take innocent people's life, but they run the city.
Oh, I could tell you more stories about the city of Richmond. The housing authority, one of the main secretaries there was selling household appliances out of her garage, all from the city of Richmond.
Really? Wow.
And she got away with it under Mark Peterson being the district attorney.
Wow.
There's a few other people, same kind of things. Stealing time, or funneling contracts in their brother-in-law's direction or whatnot.
A big family thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And none of them were getting prosecuted for nothing. And then the city was on the verge of bankruptcy.
Yeah, I saw that on the news. I saw that on the news.
So, and now they have the sex scandal with
exactly.
Jasmine Abuslan.
Exactly.
And so, you know, the police department already costs, well, between them and the fire department, they cost the city, I believe 78% of the budget goes to paying off them. Another thing I understand is there's more officers in the police department that are retired that are on active duty.
Oh, active duty.
So they're getting inflated paychecks because they learn how to work the system. Wow. We read about that in the news as well.
So we have a system in Richmond, California that's broke.
Yep.
And no one's trying to fix it. It's continuing to go on breaking down. We have people that's in the office. We have supervisors. We have mayors. We have people that's in office that's running this city, and it's constantly breaking down, and nobody's fixing it.
The mayor's trying to fix the housing authority problem. He's trying to push it off on the county, so the Richmond Housing Authority no longer will exist.
Really, is that right?
Yep.
Wow, wow.
And
wow.
So
yeah, the corruption goes on.
They're selling corporate land they have for the fire department training facility, and stuff like that, and they're selling it to housing, low-income housing, you know, and the city needs it.
Yeah.
But it's just they're selling all their assets to cover their asset.
Yes, exactly what they're doing.
So
well, Petey Perez name is not going to go anywhere. Okay, we have a show here, and this show is seen around the country. Right, people will watch this around the country. This show will air tomorrow on YouTube. Okay, I'll come in tomorrow at 12 o'clock, and I'll put it on YouTube, and air on YouTube. Other people around the country will see the show. Right, so somebody's going to say something, and somebody's going to know what's going on in Richmond, California.
We're actually going to have a get together at the liquor store on Cutting and Carlson in Richmond, Uncle Sam's Liquor Store, on the 16th of September, which is 2 days after the day we shot. It was Saturday that we're going to have it. So right at dusk we're going to have it, and just celebrate his life. And
on the 16th of September.
September.
Okay, and that's in the evening.
Yes, right when the sun's going down, we're going to have it, and you know, one of the things that the police say that they were getting on people for loitering in front of the store and drinking and stuff. Well, I bet you they don't show up that night, because if they do, I'm going to give them hell.
Yeah, I don't think they'll show up.
Anyway, they actually haven't been doing that as much no more, because that policy didn't work, because look what happened. I've said it before. My son was searched by the officer. The officer knew he was unarmed, yet he comes up with that claim. He feared for his life, and the whole 9 yards. He said my son reached for his weapon. They did a DNA test on his weapon, on his utility belt, and all that. No DNA on it, but they don't want to talk about that.
Really? Wow.
And it's unimportant.
Wow.
But if they had found some,
sure,
that would have been the biggest thing.
That'd have been the biggest thing.
So
that'd have been the biggest thing. They had nothing to talk about.
Right.
So they're going on now that he feared for his life. Now this officer, now, correct me if I'm wrong. I may be wrong in what I'm saying, because I don't know. This officer, he wears a bulletproof vest.
Yes.
Okay. Right. He wears a gun, firearm.
This guy was a tweaker. He had a 45.
Okay.
Most of the cops
45.
carry 40s.
He had a 45.
Yep.
Okay, he got a 45. Wow. Then he has a taser, I believe.
He was supposed to have a taser. He didn't have it on him. That was pointed out to me by another officer who watched the video.
Okay.
He said, "Look right there.
He didn't
Don't have it on."
Okay.
He didn't have his pepper spray on him.
Okay.
He didn't have his billy club.
Okay.
And his excuse previously was, it's too cumbersome to carry.
that night that he murdered your son, he didn't have anything else on except a service pistol.
Yep.
If he come into any kind of contact with anybody, his thing was to kill somebody.
Mm-hmm.
No other thing in his mind
He
was to kill somebody.
he was already a trigger happy cop too. He had shot a couple of dogs.
He shot a couple of dogs.
Yes. Well, I can't say I don't know if it was warranted or not, but he has shot a couple of dogs, and he also shot at another human being 1 year before he shot at my son.
Wow.
The other guy didn't get hit. I guess good thing that guy wasn't good aim, but
ridiculous.
But I know he in other words, he's trigger happy. That's my point. So
yeah, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Well, Mr. Perez, we on the 16th of September, I will be there on Cutting
in Carlson.
In Carlson, I will be there at the liquor store.
3322 Cutting Boulevard,
Yeah.
I believe.
I will be there, and I hope that everybody else that's watching the show, that's in the neighborhood, in the area, attend that rally that night. We need support. We need people to come out and take part of this. This is not going away. We're not going to let it go away.
Yeah.
We want to bring you back. We want to keep on bringing you back.
I want to inform
Yeah, we
the
don't
public.
keep on bringing you back.
of
Every
everything.
so often we want to bring you back because this is going to go on, and we're going to keep putting on YouTube. We're going to keep on putting on the show, and until you get your answers that you want. You know. So,
Yeah, well, the only thing I can get now, because I can't have what I want, is to expose the untruths that the police department, the transparency they brag about,
Exactly. Yeah.
which is fake news.
It's fake. It's fake. It doesn't exist. So with that, we wanna thank Mr. Perez for coming on the show this evening. You know, I feel your pain. I feel your pain that your wife crying at night. I feel your pain that you being at work and thinking about your son. I feel that. You know, I know that this is something that was never going to go away. It's never going to go away. But if we can be a part of your ease at the station, you're welcome to come on the show and talk about Petey. He has the right to have a voice. He has the right to have a voice, and he has the right for you to make his name not go away.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna be here for you. You know, we're gonna be here for you as often as we can. We want to bring you back in a couple more months and bring you on the show and allow you to speak his name again. So
Hopefully I got some more results from the Citizens Police Review Commission, or maybe another story to tell you.
Exactly. So with that, we want to thank you for coming on the show tonight, and we appreciate the viewers watching the show. Call into the station if you have any remarks that you would like to take part in this program. And we're going to bring back Mr. Perez in a couple of months, allow him to come back on the show and take part of it. You guys look at this bandage on my head. I had surgery this morning, so now nobody got me. I'm good. You know, I did have surgery this morning. I had to get that in. But thank you for coming on the show, Mr. Perez.
Thank you for having me, and I'll look forward to coming back.
Thank you. So we bid you guys good night. Look at the show on YouTube tomorrow at 12. It'll be on YouTube. Look at it as many times as you want to look at it, and give us some feedback on the show. Thank you, and have a good evening.